is this really for you? And if you're an experienced online marketer and you want an automated way to scale your business to new heights, this is certainly for you. It's been designed that way. If you're already making money online but find yourself spending maybe too much time tracking, testing, and maybe adding other ways to get more profits, this is a surefire way for you to spend less time doing all that monotonous daily stuff and focusing more on income increasing activities. If you're new to online marketing, like many of you, and you want to get quicker, easier, and more reliable results, this is for you as well. For those of you looking to decrease the learning curve and model after something that is actually working currently and has been working consistently for years, I assure you this will get you to where you want to be financially. For those of you that know my story, I'm the guy that bought Website for Dummies here back in, I think it was 2006. I read 3 chapters and I threw it in the trash. You know, I'm definitely not the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to technology, so I like to take the fastest route from point A to point B and get to the results as quickly as possible, and that's what you're going to be getting here today and getting with iPass 2. If you want to effortlessly increase your earnings per sale, say up to $5,000, all while doing 0 extra work, this is also for you. Many people don't realize this, guys, but that extra top tier margins is what's going to get you the new house, the new car, the new money. A lot of people also don't realize that it's no harder to sell a $5,000 product than it is a $10 product. And I know that seems crazy, but let me tell you, it's all done using systems like that of iPass or iPass 2. So being in a position now as an Empower affiliate, which you all should be, and an iPass 2 free member, you have the tools needed to start turning in new sales. That's what the point of this webinar is, to show you how to do that. Now, in this presentation, regardless of your background or your skill level, I'm going to be showing you just how unique and powerful the system is here. It's basically the combination of the perfect digital product with the right marketing system or engine to drive sales and results. One without the other, just, you guys, it's not going to happen. You're not going to make money. And quite honestly, it's why it's taken me 4 years to perfect this marriage of the right commissionable product with a properly designed business engine that you can see great results with. So if you're tired of purchasing the next how-to products that show you how to market and make money online, this is for you as well. iPass is simply the collaboration and implementation of all the effective strategies used in the online business world. All I did was I took all these strategies and built the business model for you instead of you learning them on your own and trying to implement it for yourself. The reason I can do this is because I have a big budget, I have a big tech team, and I have lots of resources to create this franchise-style business model for you. It's taken a while, but I did it. If you want to do 4 times as many sales as the other guys and have the highest conversion rates online, you guys, it's for you, for sure. And last, if you're the person who would rather follow a pre-designed set of directions and plug into something that will allow you to see more consistent results, this is for you as well. So let's talk about some rules. The iPass 2 rules, as I call it, this is not a get-rich program. It's nothing that's going to make you rich tomorrow. In fact, I try to stay as far away from that as I can because it's just not true. You're not going to get rich overnight. There's nothing that can do that. It comes through hard work and understanding how systems can leverage you instead of you putting all this work into things that don't make you money. This is not a sit on the couch and do nothing to get paid business or model. That's not what we're about. We're about simplifying and automating the tasks that make you money, but at the end of the day, there's certain functions that you do have to do. All we did is take away the complex stuff. There's no fake smoke screens here to sell you thin air. I'm not here to just sell you this dream of someday you can be a millionaire because there's a push-button software or there's some fake gurus that are going to teach you some things. It's not what I'm about. What iPass 2 is about is actually showing you how business is done, how the business model works, and the elements that you absolutely need, and the same elements that I'll show you that made me over $500,000 a month that are built into the iPass 2 system. So it's really important that you know that. No smoke screens here. I'm going to put this out there because I have to. My results that I'm going to show you and the numbers that I'm going to illustrate for you tonight are not typical. They are not typical, meaning there's some of you that are going to make some money and there's some of you that just are not, and that's just the nature and that's life. Some of you just aren't going to put in the work, and quite honestly, most people who buy any how to make money training or systems will not make any money whatsoever. Reason being is I don't know your work ethic. I don't know if you're going to take what you learn here today and apply it and do it. I have some really, really close people that I know that actually come over to my house and I train them and I do things with them that still haven't gotten out of the gate, and I don't quite understand why, but there's a difference between an action taker and somebody who just doesn't take action and gets kind of that paralysis by analysis, if you will. So some of you out there just aren't going to do it, and that's just the way it is. But I'm going to tell you, those of you that do take action and are action takers on a specific plan are sitting in front of something that can get you enormous results. So moving on, for those of you that have been on the internet marketing space a while, you've spent at least a minute on Google or YouTube, you've known that I've been around a while. You also probably saying to yourself, Chris, you have all this experience, you know, you have a very well-known name and lots of people on your list to buy your stuff. How am I supposed to do what you do? That's probably the first question that you're asking yourself. Well, my confession is that I do have an advantage over most people, yes. I already built my name over the years, and I do have a big list to use. I would hope so after being online for over 8 years now. In fact, if I didn't, you certainly wouldn't be on this webinar listening to me carry on about something I had never done or accomplished. It's because of the very nature of my success that you're all here right now, and the very reason why you need to pay attention to what I'll be showing you. With all that being said, you might assume I've had success since day one and conquered everything there is to know about making tons of money online, right? Well, not exactly. You should know a little something about me before we move forward, and that is that I am the most unlikely person to have ever made $1 million online. If you could screw up the right way to make money online, I figured that out to a T. Guys, absolutely. But I'm also the guy that is extremely stubborn and loves a comeback story, so I always knew I would find success online. With that, let me tell you a quick story, which I think is going to shock you guys here. So let me just tell you something. I've never really fully disclosed this story and to the full degree that I'm going to tell you, and the reason I'm doing this is because I think it's going to lead into how iPass was built and why it is so significant the way it is. I started out as a professional athlete. I was a kickboxer. I lived in Asia. That was my life. That was my dream, and that's what I was doing. Well, after doing that a while, successfully, but I realized that that wasn't the best long-term career choice for myself, so I did what most people do. I went to college, wanted to get a degree so I could go get a job. That was my thing. Right after that, I was going to college to get into the FBI. That's what I wanted to do. Post 9/11, I got a job offer for Homeland Security. I said, okay, that was my foot in the door, and I took it. So I got involved with Homeland Security, and I was very close to finishing school and getting into the FBI. That's what I wanted to do. I want to be an investigator. I was very good at that line of work, and so that was my thing. Well, I took a 90-degree turn actually. And I said, you know, the government wasn't for me when I was working for Homeland Security. It was just not my thing. So I actually ended up becoming a broker. For those of you that have seen The Wolf of Wall Street, I lived that life. I was a broker in a large firm in Boca Raton, Florida in my early 20s, made lots and lots of money, lived on the beach, had the sports cars, the life, but I was honestly really burnt out, and I just hated my life. And I remember it was one day I came into the office, and one of my clients spent about $250,000, about $250,000 on an investment, which in that morning he lost all of it, just in 2 days gone. And I remember asking my boss, what do I do? And he says to me, he said, Chris, you need to call him back and ask him for more money. I said, I can't do that. He's like, well, then there's the door. So I walked out the door, and I became a broke entrepreneur. Let's just be honest. I didn't know what I was doing. I wanted to start my own business because if I was going to work so hard for someone else, I might as well make all the money and do it for myself. So I did that, and I became a broke entrepreneur, trying all kinds of stuff online. And then I discovered direct sales, which showed me how to just put a couple ads on the internet, and people were buying my stuff. So I broke through. It took me 4 years of being broke, mind you. This was back years and years and years ago, but I broke through and I figured it out, and I met somebody online who actually showed me a blueprint essentially of the right things to do, and not too long after that I had my first $100,000 month. That was a big breakthrough. You know, when I was starting as an entrepreneur, I was like, hey, I want to make $10,000 a month, and then I got into the 6 figures on a monthly basis, and it opened my eyes to new possibilities. It also showed me how the internet can bring in fast money, how I could reach more people. So, okay, this is great. I'm making all this money, and I started saying, okay, to the next level, I need to create my own products. I need to be that guy. So I started to create my own products, not really knowing what I was doing, spent an absolute fortune doing it, and what happened, it absolutely bombed. Completely bombed, didn't make any money, spent all this money, didn't know how to support it. There's just thing after thing that just didn't go right. So kind of down and out again, and wasn't sure what to do. And at that point in time in my life, I actually met the right people, some really smart internet marketers who said, Chris, okay, you've had success, but you did this wrong. This is where you need to go back and change it. And so I did that, and I went back to direct sales again because the margins were so high, and I started making really good money. So, but wait, there is more to this story, and then I'm going to get to this here now. I'm going to explain to you why this is significant. I opened 4 offices. I was doing so much volume online and doing so many sales and getting so many leads because I knew the formula to do that, that I opened 4 offices. And the reason being, somebody put the idea in my head that I need to open a call center. And I was like, okay, if I do more leads, more people can help sell on the phone, I'm going to make more money. And I made a ton of money, tons of it. Absolutely a frenzy with these 4 offices. It was nuts. Here's what happened. It crashed. It crashed really bad. What happened was I had people stealing. I couldn't control it. I didn't know the call center industry. They ate me up and spit me out so bad. It almost cost me $1 million of my own money. And I remember it was December in 2010, 3 days before Christmas. I found out people were stealing and embezzling money. I brought in the police and hauled everybody out. It was kind of a rock bottom for me, and it actually made me question my whether I wanted to be in business for myself. So that was the journey, and at that point I was really kind of looking at myself in the mirror saying, what should I be doing? And that's where I came up with my $1 million decision. Actually, a few decisions, actually. First, I decided to figure out this online direct sales thing for good. I was tired of going back to square one despite my success in the past. I was just sick of it. Second, I studied every major internet marketing guru out there and implemented the strategies that were missing in my business. So I created systems for everything in order to automate tasks, reduce risk, and increase my overall revenue, which you're going to see here, by over 5 times. So I combined all these gurus' techniques into a system that I could follow strictly so I would never get off track. I combined as I just said, I combined all the guru products and education to form the perfect formula that I could rely on to produce profits quickly, and in many cases cover all my ad costs before my main products were even sold, essentially creating my list for free. This is what I did different. I was doing things that were making me so much money on the front end that it was just paying for all my advertising. So everything was pretty much paid for and building my list for free, and then the products that happened, my main products, was just icing on the cake. At that point, I went on to build my own business formula and system, which I call iPass, to work for the coldest of cold traffic. This is really important because I didn't want to rely on my list any longer, and I wanted to be able to scale it to a whole new level. And to be honest, I was a little bit embarrassed because when I was struggling after that call center fiasco, my list got beat up pretty good, and some of the branding got beat up. And so I didn't want to hit my list. I wanted to design a system where I could just go to new people and show them what I had and make money from that. So the only thing is a little bit of a different dynamic, and I'm going to show you how I did that.